Have you played Cygni, All Guns Blazing? So this was kind of a rarer game. It had got like a limited print run, and I saw that there was a few games that had limited print runs that were getting a re-release. And I looked into all the games that were getting the re-release, and this one caught my attention because it is a shoot 'em up, and I like shoot 'em ups, but you know, you can only play so many before they start feeling kind of samey. But there are some that tend to stand out. You know, like Ikaruga is always one that's going to stand out to me because while it is fairly simple and basic, you know, it's got this whole gimmick of like light and dark. You can, if you have the light ship set, you can absorb light bullets and do double damage to the dark. And then if you switch to the dark, you'll absorb dark and do double damage to light. So it was a very simple gimmick that made it very unique. And you know, Cygni, I don't think it has like a specific gimmick that makes it stand out. It just does a few tiny things here and there that differentiate it from other shoot 'em ups. When I first saw it, it kind of gave me like a Geometry Wars feel. If you ever played Geometry Wars back on the 360, which was like a twin stick shooter. And with Cygni, you know, it's an on rails game, so enemies are always coming from the top half of the screen, and you can kind of aim like left and right to a certain extent. At times it feels kind of limiting, but at the same time you don't really need to go further than it'll let you. When I first started playing it, I played on normal, and it kind of kicked my ass. I wasn't expecting it because there's just enemies everywhere. It almost feels overwhelming when you first play it. And so I died a couple times, and I was like, screw it, I'll just go to easy. And easy was a very different story. As I started to finish levels, I would gain like experience points that I could spend on upgrades for my ship. And you know, once you unlock them, you have them permanently. It's not like a one-time thing. And as you progress through the game, you unlock more and more, and then of course you get more and more powerful. So by the time I had finished easy, I went back and I tried the first level on normal, and it was vastly different. It was much easier. So it's not like, it's almost like the game intends you to play on easy first to unlock stuff, and then play on normal, unlock more stuff, and then play on hard. You know, it's not a very long game. It's 2 to 3 hours max, which kind of sucks. Like, you know, it's a shoot 'em up. They can only do so much. It's only going to last so long. But to be honest, I don't think I'd want to play a game like this for like 10 hours just to beat it. I think I'd get burned out after a certain point. As fun as some of them are, just after a certain point, I'm like, all right, I'm done. So I do think maybe it could have been just a little longer, maybe like an extra hour tops. So like the other gimmick, quote unquote gimmick, with this game is the health weapon system. You know, you start with like 6 or 7 pieces of health, and the same thing with weapons. You have 6 or 7 like slots, and the gimmick with it is you can move your health chunks, or whatever you want to call them, to your weapon slot, and when you do, that'll give you access to missiles and loadouts, which I'll come back to. And so like there's only really like one like power up, quote unquote, you know, power up, pick up, whatever, which is the health chunks. And you know, in most shoot 'em ups, whenever there's items to pick up, it's like health or different weapon type or weapon upgrade, but this, it's just got one power up or one item, whatever, and it's done. So you can, the idea, what you want to do is, because they do drop quite a bit, you want to try to load up your weapon as fast as you can so you can keep picking up the health pieces. And so another thing is, like I was saying with loadouts, you can create loadouts. Like as you gain more experience to unlock things, you can gain loadouts, and you get like, I think like 6 of them total, 6, 7, I don't remember the exact number. But, and what you can do is you can create your own like weapon loadouts. So you have options of how much you can make your weapon shoot, like how much it can spread. You can go like all the way across the screen, or you can like make it pinpoint to a specific spot. So what I had did was for each loadout, I made it like the first one was like focused on one spot, and then each loadout I got significantly wider. So if I started to lose health, I would move some of my health or my weapon chunks back to my health, so that way I'd have health, but then I'd lose my spread shot, but I'd still have the focused one. So with the ability to aim left and right, it wasn't like a total loss. And, you know, of course you get like missiles that you can fire that home in on enemies. And, you know, as far as like story goes with this game, like I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've played a single shoot 'em up where I give two shits about the story. I don't know what's going on. I don't really care. It does. I mean, visually, this game looks impressive considering it's like a smaller game that's probably going to go unnoticed by most people. It's kind of impressive how much effort they put into the visuals. But all I've really gathered from the story is like you're protecting a planet from these like ancient alien machines that look like bugs. But, you know, like I said, I don't really hear about the story in shoot 'em ups. Like shoot 'em ups to me are just games that I just want to get into the gameplay. I don't really give a shit what's going on. I'm not here to see, you know, the backstory of these characters. Majority of the shoot 'em ups I've played, you're just some pilot in a ship or random anime girl. So going back to what I was saying, the enemies look like alien machine bugs, which actually fits because there are so many enemies on the screen at times. It literally feels like a swarm of insects. It's almost annoying at times, just like real life insects. Like, you ever been out and about and there's just gnats everywhere in your face pissing you off? That's kind of how it feels in this game at times. But another feature I kind of forgot to mention with the gameplay was, if you've ever played Galactic Attack on the Sega Saturn, I know that's kind of a random game, but that's another like shoot 'em up that's just like generic like spaceship. You have, you know, your normal just like shoot the enemies at the top of the screen, but there's also enemies like in the background which you can shoot. This game very much reminded me of that. So it does add another layer of depth. Granted, I kind of feel like most of the enemies in the background don't really affect me too much, but I did play on easy, so that may have something to do with it. It is definitely a game I would recommend. Like, if you're a shmup person or a shoot 'em up, I know some people don't like that term shmup, but if you're into shmups, I definitely think Cygni is a game worth checking out, because I do feel like it stands out in many ways. Like I said, you know, the gameplay is somewhat unique compared to others. The graphics are actually kind of impressive. You know, a unique loadout system. You know, if you find this for a reasonable price, the game length is what's going to be the factor in whether you want to buy this or not. Because, like I said, it's only like 2 or 3 hours. Do I recommend it? Yeah, but not for the insane prices that I see it go for on eBay. I managed to buy it when it got restocked, so I got it. I still paid more than I think I wanted to, but in the long run, I think I'm happy with my purchase. But please, if you decide to check this out, let me know in the comments, because I definitely think this is a good purchase if it's priced properly. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Why you gotta do this now? I'm preoccupied. Can't you see that I'm trying to do something? I don't interrupt you when you're streaming. Thank you.